All right, I think I am live here. Welcome, one and all, once again to another late night live stream, another late night musing here. Let me see. Once again, I am caught trying to get everything situated here. All right, get this set. I keep telling myself I'm going to get all this right before the stream starts, and then when it starts, I'm like, I just lose everything. It's like, oh, everything goes out the window, and I don't know where everything is. But no, this is good. This is good here, and that goes there, and that goes right there. That is the article I want to start on. Let me see. And this here, and then I want to share. Yes, I actually want to share a screen. How about that? There we go. And then this does this. No, I want to make that go away. I want to enlarge that. No, this. Okay, I can do this better. There it is. Okay, that's kind of sort of what I want. No, yes. All right. No matter how many times I do this, I always hit the wrong button. Anyway, as you can tell by the thumbnail, the topic of tonight's live streams is tariffs on Hollywood, for Hollywood. I have no idea. I don't think anybody really knows what is going on. I mean, say what you will about the president. He is a amazing bringer of chaos, shall we say. He can just come out, stand in front of some cameras, and no one knows what he's going to say. No one knows what he's going to do, what he's going to say. This is certainly one of those instances here. I had hit the good old cough button because allergies, being as they are, allergies, my airborne adversaries, causing me to cough, sneeze, and wheeze and all that. But fortunately, that does not go out live. Okay, let's see. Where do I want to start here? Where do I want to? So yeah, Trump comes out, announces a 100% tariff on movies made overseas, and of course, everyone is scratching their head, not knowing what exactly is he talking about. Let me go right to this here article. This is Los Angeles Times. I'll scroll down here. May the 4th of 2025. We got Trump announcing 100% tariffs on movies made overseas. Okay. Like I said, Trump comes out, says something, people start panicking, crying, running around, pulling their hair out, and all the while, some people think, oh, it's not really that bad, is it? But anyway, I don't know what to think about this or how it's going to affect the entertainment industry. If you want to encourage more productions in America as opposed to productions moving overseas, there might be better ways of going about encouraging that. There's like the carrot and the stick method, and this makes me think this is all stick. This is not carrot. This is all stick here. But anyway, It could turn into a carrot. It could turn into opening up dialogue, into moving productions back to the states from moving overseas. But anyway, digging into this article, I was reading up on this and trying to familiarize myself with the subject because, like I said, it's new, relatively new. Today's the 6th. This was announced on the 4th. It's giving people enough time to get over the panic, the knee jerk reaction, the hysteria, and whatnot, and giving people enough time to calm down and figure out what this really means for Hollywood. Uh, my initial impression of this is some kind of protectionism. Is that right? Is that right? An initial reaction, kind of protectionism for Hollywood, but it's like forced protectionism or forced. It's crazy. It could lead to incentives, but I would think you would want the incentives first before you announce a 100% tariff. But anyway, let's dig into this article. Again, this was, who is this? Los Angeles Times, Meg James, the writer, May 4th, 2 days ago. 2 days ago. Looking to boost production of Hollywood movies in the U.S., President Trump on Sunday announced a new 100% tariff applied on films produced overseas. But studio executives on Sundays were surprised by the announcement, saying they had no advance notice of the tariffs plan and didn't know the details of how it would be applied. For more than 2 decades, major studios have shifted movie production to cheaper countries, including Canada, UK, Bulgaria, New Zealand, Australia, and other countries that offer generous tax benefits to build their local economies, luring films away from Hollywood. The mass migration of high paying jobs has become a critical issue for Los Angeles, which has seen a dramatic loss in film production jobs in recent years. Um, yeah, my initial thoughts on this is it's not just allurements from overseas, tax benefits, or cheaper productions. There's other things I believe factor in to Hollywood's loss of revenue or loss of film production and jobs. But that could be like a whole other subject. Let's see. The industry hasn't fully recovered from shutdowns because of the COOF, labor strikes, and a retrenchment by legacy entertainment companies, many of which overspent to build streaming services to compete with Netflix. So yeah, there's a number of factors that go into Hollywood's predicament right now, or the predicament that Hollywood is facing right now. January's wildfires in the Pacific Palisades and Altadena dealt another blow. Let's see, skipping down here. I am authorizing the Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to immediately begin the process of instituting a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands, Trump said late Sunday in a post on his Truth Social. We want movies made in America again, he said. The proposal is the latest in a series of tariffs that Trump has imposed on trading partners worldwide, causing turmoil in global markets. Honestly, I don't think a lot of people really understand how this would be implemented. Let's see. I'm going to jump around to other parts of the article here. It's kind of interesting because, like I said, it's the carrot and the stick method. Trump has this. Oh no, I almost said ability. It's his how he goes about doing business. He comes out hitting the ground running, so to speak, putting out the most outrageous notion, and then he works his way down from that to meet the opposite side somewhere in the middle. It's like automatically go to the most outrageous position and then negotiate down from that point. And slowly, I think it works in other industries. I don't know if this is the right way to go about handling Hollywood. But let's see, I was skipping around this particular article. Let's see. The call for U.S. production comes after Trump tapped a trio of actors, John Voight, Sylvester Stallone, and Mel Gibson, to be his special ambassadors to Hollywood. In January, Trump unveiled the initiative, calling Hollywood a great but troubled place. The president at the time said he and his ambassadors would help Hollywood spring back bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. But the envoys have kept a low profile since their appointment, and many in Hollywood say they have not heard from them. Okay, let's see, what is this? Yeah, the last paragraph. One producer, Randy Greenberg, wrote in a Sunday LinkedIn post that tariffs would hurt, not help Hollywood. Putting a tariff on movies shot outside the U.S. will increase the cost of shooting, and the studios will lobby the exhibitors to raise ticket prices, and then the audiences will skip the theater, and then, well, you see where this is going, Greenberg wrote. And that's true. I mean, to have an honest look at it, not every movie can be produced in the U.S. There are some movies that are just probably well suited to, say, New Zealand, Australia, what have you, Europe. That's not to say we can't have more movies produced here, but there's probably better ways of going about this. Then I was searching through other articles earlier today trying to find like a breakdown of, let's see, trying to find a breakdown of where movies are produced in the country because I thought that was interesting. I know California is losing ground to other states. So I found this article. This is the wrap.com. What state is the movie making capital of the world? Hint, it's not California or New York. The Bayou State was the top locale for Hollywood's major movies last year, according to a new report from Film LA. And unfortunately, this particular article is 11 years old. I'm looking at March 6th of 2014, and I've been trying to find a more updated article on this because I thought this was really interesting, as we have a nice little graph here showing just where movies are produced throughout the United States. They have Louisiana, 18 movies produced, Canada, 15, United Kingdom, 12, Georgia, the state of Georgia in the U.S., 9, other U.S. and Puerto Rico, 9, Massachusetts, 5, New York, 4, and so on, all the way down. I would say this is interesting that I couldn't find a more updated article referencing this because this is 11 years old, this particular article. A newer article, I do believe Texas would be somewhere on this graph because Texas is becoming quite the production hub for movies and TV shows and the like. I think it's interesting that other states are competing with California, rolling out tax incentives, benefits, anything to draw the money from California to their respective states. And then that led me to jump over to this article here. Why California is losing movie and TV production to non-US rivals. This is who is this? This is CoStar News, February 11th of this year. A little bit before this crazy tariff news, California, UK outpace Hollywood's home state as Los Angeles invests in sound stages. Warner Brothers Studio Leviston is one of several sites in the United Kingdom benefiting from the influx of entertainment production into the country from the U.S. So, yeah, California is losing out on tax incentives and production costs to not only other states, but, well, many other countries around the world. I think the fix really should be having a look at the business and California. What is California doing wrong and other states and other countries doing right? Let's see here. As I go into this, I was hopping around article to other article. Most of today, kind of reading up on this, seeing what the deal is. To see, Los Angeles City Council unanimously approved his company's $1 billion planned transformation of the historic Television City studio property in Beverly Fairfax last month. This is California must continue to invest in the future of one of our state's signature industries to remain the entertainment capital of the world, said Hackman Capital Partners Zach Sokoloff in a statement supporting the state's proposed tax credit increase. So, yeah, they're looking at tax credits and looking to bump up the tax credits to kind of keep businesses and productions back in the state. Let's see. Los Angeles is among several United States cities implementing new and improved discounts and programs to ramp up production. California, meanwhile, plans to double its tax incentives this summer, and a move expected to funnel some 3.75 billion in credits to the local film and television industry over 5 years. What's more, developers are building several $billion of production real estate, from sound stages to offices across LA, attempt productions with space more conducive to modern methods of filmmaking than existing older facilities. So it's interesting. They're taking a hard look at what they're doing in their state. Let's see. There was okay. Even with that, are they still able to compete with other countries where production costs are lower? And I think until they get to that point, it just makes sense to travel abroad from an economic point of view. I mean, it'd be nice to keep the production money here in the States where you're dealing with local talent, local businesses. I mean, everything from carpenters to build the sets and whatnot, all the way up to uh, computer companies for computer IT support and whatnot. Let's see. Movie and television production firms are increasingly doing business outside the United States, prompting top entertainment hubs like LA to try to add high tech sound stages and ramp up incentives to lure back studios. The 5 leading locations where producers plan on filming projects in the next year are outside America. Based on what 150 executives, that's a pretty substantial number right there. When you ask 150 executives what they think about it, they said industry tracking service Prod Pro and interviews with industry professionals by CoStar News. California, the nation's highest ranking location on the list, placed sixth among regions where productions are set for the 2025 and 2026 filming seasons, followed by Georgia, New Jersey, and New York. The most preferred locations are Toronto, the United Kingdom, Vancouver, Central Europe, and Australia, areas that offer the most production subsidies. Australia, for example, offers to pay up to 40% of expenses for big budget production. That can be quite substantial when you're talking about larger budgets. While Canada pays roughly 36%, outpacing the subsidies that are offered in the United States. Let's see. I was bumping around one article to the next. Okay, this is talking about growth. Major United States studio and streamer-backed productions have fueled the United Kingdom's growth, with 65% of all film production spending in the country coming from the five major American studios. Okay, now that's interesting. When you look at what's going overseas to the United Kingdom and how it's affecting the UK's growth, 65% of all film production spending in that country comes from the five major American studios and the country's three dominant streamers. Companies like Netflix, Apple, and Amazon increased spending on productions in the UK by 49% year over year in 2024. That would be something really interesting to look at. Like, how do we keep that production here in this country? Why can't we keep that production here in this country? Is it simply economics, or is it something that the United Kingdom has that the United States doesn't? Well, aside from, say, location specific productions, like something that just needs to be shot in Europe, the UK, or whatever. The world is competing for film and television business as producers are focusing on quality over quantity. So not only are we facing struggles here across the U.S. trying to keep productions here, everybody is struggling and competing, especially when you get countries like the UK saying 65% of their film production spending comes from American studios. Now, another article I came across on this subject, the Wrap.com. This was May 5th, yesterday. Trump is reviewing Jon Voight's proposal to bring more productions back to America after a weekend Mar-a-Lago meeting. The president loves the entertainment business and this country, and he will help us make Hollywood great again, the actor says. All right. President Trump is reviewing Special Ambassador Jon Voight's proposal to bring more productions back to America after meeting with the actor and his producing partner Stephen Paul at Mar-a-Lago over the weekend. The proposed plan includes federal incentives for production and post-production, the establishment of co-production treaties with foreign countries, as well as infrastructure subsidies for theater owners, job training, and other changes to the tax code. The plan also calls for the use of tariffs in certain limited circumstances. I think this is interesting. This is really what you should have done first, or you should have announced this first before you just come out and say, oh, by the way, there's 100% tariff on movies being produced overseas. But I think that's just how Trump does things. He comes out, says something for the shock value, and then goes over the details afterwards. I can understand this bit right here. The plan also calls for use for tariffs in certain limited circumstances. I'd like to know what certain limited circumstances are. I'm not really dug into this particular article yet, but this is interesting. It all comes back to not only how do we keep production in this country, but how are we going to encourage uh, studios to keep their productions here? What is it that we could do to incentivize studios to keep their productions here in this country, keeping Americans employed across the board as opposed to taking their business overseas and producing a movie or TV show overseas and whatnot? Let's see. As the article continues, the president loves the entertainment business and this country, and he will help us make Hollywood great again, the actor says. The White House on Monday said no final decisions have been made on hitting foreign films with 100% tariffs. Yeah, nothing final has been made. Just come out, make a statement, shock people, have people wondering what the heck is going on. Let's see. The update came just one day after President Trump said he would impose the stiff tariff to help save a dying entertainment industry. Okay, that begs the question, why do you think the entertainment industry is dying? There's certainly many answers to that. Most often, I believe the answer there could simply be it's the quality of what's coming out of Hollywood right now. It's the quality of what entertainment is out there. I mean, many fans who take to YouTube to read reviews or watch reviews and read up on reviews and whatnot on their favorite franchise. Over the past 10, 15 years, we've seen the entertainment industry decline a great deal simply because from, well, shall we say, wokeism and whatnot, political takes on franchises that turn fans off and whatnot. See, as the article continues, although no final decisions on foreign film tariffs have been made, the administration exploring all options to deliver on President Trump's directives to safeguard our country's national and economic security while making Hollywood great again. White House spokesman Kush Desai said. And that's interesting, and that was a quick article there. On Monday evening, Voight released a short video in which, with an American flag background behind him, he restated that he had said earlier regarding the proposals and praised Trump in effusive, exaggerated terms, comparing him to both Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. Okay, that's interesting. So all that comes down to, why can't we make movies here? What is preventing us from keeping productions in this country? It all comes down to incentives and tax breaks around the world and production costs. Now, Trump coming out and saying he wants to. Oh, let me go back to where I was here. There we go. There we go, right there. I hit the wrong button and threw everything off. Now, with Trump announcing these 100% tariffs on movies made overseas, I could see how that could have a lot of people scratching their head, like, what does he mean? What is he going to do? How is he going to go about implementing that tariffs? Another article I came across is where are movies really made? Beyond Hollywood's famous studios. And so once I started reading up on this, it just led to one article after another, and it was really kind of interesting to see how this could really affect the whole industry. When you come out and say you want to make a 100% tariff on movies produced overseas, how is that going to affect not only the US, but other countries? And this is, what is this? This is filmlocale.com. I am not seeing a date on this article, which is kind of odd. Hmm. Yeah, not seeing a date on this article at all. But anyway, it's broad enough to be relevant today if this is an older article. Where are movies really made? Beyond Hollywood's famous studios. People will say there are a million ways to shoot a scene, but I don't think so. I think there are two, maybe, and the other one is wrong. This is by David Fincher, a quote by David Fincher. Where are movies really made? Beyond Hollywood's famous studios. You might be surprised to learn that your favorite movies aren't always filmed where you would expect. The Hollywood sign remains a powerful symbol of cinema, but movie production is spread across the globe, reaching as far as the vibrant streets of Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Many recent blockbusters were filmed thousands of miles from Hollywood's famous studios. The modern film industry now reaches from Canadian cities to scenic spots in Eastern Europe, and even to the bustling nightlife hubs of Southeast Asia. The production landscape has evolved into something more varied and dynamic than ever before. Movie enthusiasts who want to find out about filming locations will see that today's cinema world stretches well beyond Hollywood's traditional boundaries, encompassing diverse settings. This is actually pretty interesting because when you think about productions around the world, it's interesting to look at not just how things have grown here, but how things have grown in other countries. Of course, this article goes on to talk about Vietnam's Ho Chi Minh City offering a unique backdrop for filmmakers. The film industry worldwide shows remarkable growth. Production jumped 15% in 2022, adding 1,150 new films and reaching 8,748 productions globally. That is a lot. That is a lot of entertainment to consume out there. New production hubs are changing traditional movie making locations with emerging markets offering unique backdrops for filmmakers. And I was looking at this. Oh, here we go. Yes, yes. Streaming changed the game. Streaming platforms have transformed movie production and distribution methods. These services help independent filmmakers reach global audiences without traditional distribution channels. That is another good point to look at. Is like we've gone past the cable TV era. We've certainly gone past the small satellite platform era. Now it's all about streaming, worldwide streaming on a streaming platform, and how you can get your movie or TV production out there to a larger audience. So, yeah, I can certainly understand how that would change things. Streaming platforms now invest heavily in content from different cultures. British viewers embrace Bollywood films, while global hits like Squid Game capture worldwide attention. And there's growing interest in showcasing the vibrant nightlife scenes of cities. That's true. Squid Games was a huge hit. I mean, well, Korean dramas or K dramas in general have a broader audience now with streaming. Bollywood is certainly enjoying the benefits of streaming platforms, whether it's Netflix, Amazon Prime, or what have you. Let's see. Of course, tax incentives driving up driving location changes. Tax incentives play a crucial role in selecting filming locations. Leading production destinations offer various benefits. Georgia offers a 20% base tax credit plus 10% when including qualified Georgia promotion. Canada's federal and provincial tax credits attract Hollywood productions. The UK matches Los Angeles with 6.6 million square feet of stage space. That's impressive right there. Building local film infrastructure. Many regions now build strong film infrastructure to support this expansion. Georgia leads the way with excellent support systems and production facilities. States like Illinois create detailed digital location databases that attract productions. Local crew bases and production facilities make these locations perfect for extended projects. So that's not only is California losing to other states and other countries, they're having a hard time keeping up with things. This is kind of interesting as I go into these articles. Asia's growing industry power. The Asia Pacific video industry shows remarkable growth potential. All the more to lure productions away from the States, away from California, and abroad. New revenue projections across 14 markets point to 16.2 billion US dollars by 2029. Six markets lead this expansion. India, 26% of growth, China, 23% of growth, Japan, 15, Australia, 11%, Korea, 9%, and Indonesia, 5%. This is kind of interesting to delve into these. We get an idea of not only uh, production here in the States, what's involved, but what impact these have worldwide. North American production beyond Hollywood. Film production in North America has expanded way beyond the reach and influence of Hollywood. Canada and Mexico have emerged as powerhouse production destinations. The region boasts a thriving ecosystem of studios, talent, and a strong infrastructure that shapes modern movie making. I can understand that because the more and more when I tune in to say Netflix or Amazon Prime, nine times, well, the great majority of what I watch now is a Spanish production or a Korean drama or something made in Japan. And occasionally I'll check something that is made here in America. Oh, I see in the chat Wendy Trauma Warrior yawns and stretches, trying to sleep but can't. Oh, goodness. Well, thank you for joining me in the chat. Good to see you here. Yeah, trying to sleep but can't. Yep, insomnia can be pretty rough. But thank you for joining me tonight. As always, I want to thank you all for joining me, whether you're live out there lurking or you catch this on a replay. Thank you so much for checking this out. Tonight's topic is a little dry, but I wanted to dive into this because I thought it was kind of interesting. How does production here in the US compare worldwide? Why are we producing films and movies and whatnot overseas as opposed to here in the US? Let's see. regional U.S. production centers, Hollywood remains a key player, even though I've just covered a few articles where California is losing productions to overseas businesses. But regional production centers across America bring unique advantages. These thriving film communities include Atlanta, which provides a 20% base tax credit and 10% for qualified. Yeah. If you keep your production there in Atlanta and you use local businesses and extras and whatnot, you get an additional 10%. Chicago, known as the Hollywood of the Midwest, offering a 30% tax incentive. New Orleans, providing up to 40% in tax credits. Interesting that we have states competing for a slice of the pie here. Each regional center has developed its own specialty. These locations offer distinct advantages for different types of productions, making them competitive alternatives. And then it goes on and on. Let's see here. Remote collaboration possibilities. I thought this was a good sentence. Everything to sum up everything about the subject tonight. Money talks, but tax breaks drive this global expansion. I mean, this is really what it comes down to, right? Spending money and not spending so much of it, not having to spend so much to keep your production costs down. Let's see. Movie making now reaches way beyond Hollywood's traditional boundaries. Great films can come from anywhere these days, including emerging locations like Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam, that this article has strangely mentioned 2, 3, 4 times already. That's interesting. The California studios still matter, but you'll find buzzing production centers on every continent that give filmmakers unique advantage. Oh, and Wendy Trauma Warrior says it's pretty sad that it's cheaper to take an entire movie production crew to another country instead of filming in the U.S. Yes, that's true. I mean, we'd rather keep the people here in the country and give them tax breaks, or we should keep them here in the country and give them tax breaks, as opposed to have them take all that time, personnel, effort, energy, all that labor overseas. I can understand where Trump is coming from on this matter, but how he's going about it, I don't quite understand unless it's all in the details. I mean, we haven't gotten to the particulars on this yet. It's only been 2 days since he announced the 100% tariffs on movies produced outside the country. Let's see. I'm not going to go too terribly long tonight. This is a pretty dry subject, so I'm not going to bore everyone with it. Let's see. What other article? Honestly, this is a good article to end tonight on. This is a good one. All right. So not only is it California or Illinois or Louisiana, whatnot, Texas, the great state of Texas, my home state. Texas is going to be the film capital of America. This article is kisselpaso.com. This is Kiss FM. Today's best mix, they say up here. This article is from February 19th of this year. And I actually have mixed feelings about this. It's interesting, but again, yeah, I've got mixed feelings about Texas growing like this. We're getting more and more people moving here and not particularly sharing the values. But again, that's That could be a subject for another time, perhaps. I am a native Texan, a multi generational Texan. I have seen a great deal of changes in my home state, and not particularly for the better. Oh, yes, yes. Wendy Trauma Warrior asking, do we really want all the progressives in Texas? No, no, we don't. Because again, well, like I said, it's a subject for another time. Like growth in Texas, and we're getting a lot of transplants, a lot of people who don't necessarily share what Texans consider traditional values or the Texas values that Texans think are important, that we value, that we care about, the things that we care about. But anyway, getting back to what will be the last article for tonight, as I try to make this article a little bit larger to read. Okay, there it is. I'm trying to bigify it here. Texas is going to be the film capital of America. Much to the chagrin of California, I imagine, and much to the chagrin of some natives. Texas is on the verge of something extraordinary. For years, Hollywood has been the center of the film industry, but change is coming. And I couldn't be more thrilled as this article goes on here. As a storyteller, an artist, and a lover of cinema, watching Texas rise to claim its rightful place as the nation's film capital, films like witnessing history unfold in real time. The industry is shifting, and Texas, especially El Paso, I'm guessing they mentioned this because this is Kiss El Paso, kisselpaso.com, this particular website, is becoming the place where stories come to life. Texas is taking over the film industry. For decades, states like Georgia and New Mexico have dominated the conversation about filmmaking outside of Hollywood. Tax incentives, lower costs, and unique landscapes made them hotspots for major productions. But Texas is stepping up in a big way. The Texas legislature has already invested hundreds of millions into the film industry. Probably a lot more than that when you come right down to it. With a proposed 498 million in incentives on the horizon. Wow. Again, I kind of question not only how does this affect the Texas state budget, uh, we're spending money on incentives. We'd better hope to see a return on this investment. This isn't just a budget line item, it's a declaration that Texas is ready to compete at the highest level. Yes, yes. Big names are backing the movement. Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, and Renee Zellweger have lent their voices in support of increased film incentives. The numbers don't lie. In cities like San Antonio, film permits have surged, and Austin has remained a creative powerhouse. The infrastructure is building, the incentives are growing, and the film industry is paying attention. Yeah, this is El Paso specific. Why El Paso is a next hot spot for filmmaking. El Paso, in particular, is emerging as an unexpected yet undeniable force in this movie. The city has everything a filmmaker could dream of: jaw dropping desert landscapes, historic architecture, and unique culture that can't be replaced. Blah, 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 blah. It's been a long day, and I'm trying to read an article dry here. A unique culture that can't be replicated anywhere else. I will say this is something true to Texas. I mean, Texas is a huge state. For those of you living outside of Texas, have no clue how big Texas is. You can drive for like 4, 5, 6 hours in any direction and still be in Texas. The changes in terrain, weather, location, whatnot. I can see how we can attract productions to our state. I just hope that the money is being spent by the Texas legislature does pay off. I'd like to see the state grow, I guess. Let's see. Getting back to the article here, we've already seen the signs. Filmmakers are choosing El Paso for its versatility and rich visual storytelling potential. Independent projects are thriving here, and bigger productions are taking notice. When a filmmaker like Paul Thomas Anderson brings his next project to Texas, it speaks volumes. If one of the most respected directors in the world sees the potential, the rest of the industry will follow. Well, along with big names like Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson here, I mean, they're nobody to sneeze at. The future of film belongs to Texas. Texas has always been larger than life, and now our film industry is catching up to that reputation. With growing incentives, a dedicated workforce, this is pretty important. We are seeing something that is interesting. More productions coming here make use of local labor, and I do like that. I do like seeing uh, jobs here in the state. And an endless variety of shooting locations. Texas is poised to become the new epicenter of American filmmaking. But more than that, the shift represents something deeply personal to me, the author of the article says. Film isn't just an industry, it's an art form, a way of capturing and preserving the human experience. And if Texas becomes the next Hollywood, oh, don't put it like that. It means that new voices, diverse stories, and fresh perspectives will have a home here. Just don't call us the next Hollywood. Anything but that. It means filmmakers will no longer have to leave to make their dreams come true. They can stay, create, and shape the future of cinema right here in Texas. We're not just talking about a trend, we're talking about a movement, and I, for one, can't wait to see where it takes us. And that was pretty much the end of this article. Well, okay, hang on a second. 5 movies with a little El Paso in them. Movies from the last decade that mentioned El Paso in some way, shape, or form. All right. No Country for Old Men. Okay. 2007, directed by the Coen brothers. A shot from No Country for Old Men showing the hotel in El Paso where the film ends. Okay, yep. And again, that was a scene from Dusk Till Dawn, 1996. Director Robert Rodriguez. Sicario, 2015. It was Kill Bill Volume 2, 2004, Quentin Tarantino. A shot from Kill Bill Volume 2 depicting the church where the main character's family is killed. The church is Two Pines, which is supposedly located in El Paso. So that's just mentioned there, not actually in El Paso. Okay, what is this? Logan 2017, directed by James Mangold. Logan featured El Paso in the beginning of the film, where we see Logan works in El Paso and lives in Juarez. Okay. That's interesting. It's good that the movie industry in the country is growing. I think this whole thing about tariffs and whatnot, I see this changing. I can see this changing over the next few weeks or few months because this Trump did this just for shock value, just to wake people up. I do believe. Like when you come out and announce, oh, 100% on tariffs on movies made overseas, that's going to like shock people, make them waken from their slumber, going, what the heck is he talking about now? I do believe we're going to get more details pretty soon about this because there's a lot of money riding on this. I don't know about wanting to make Hollywood great again or that whatever he went on about earlier. Or that was John Voight, wasn't it? Yeah, that was John Voight. I do believe in this particular article. He will help us make Hollywood great again. There's so many reasons why Hollywood is not great now, and it's not because they're losing production overseas or productions to other states. That is a whole nother ball of wax right there. Let's see. What all did I cover here? I covered the tariffs. I covered this article. Again, I enjoyed this particular article. I just wish I could find something more recent than 2014. This is the wrap.com, March 6th of 2014. This was a really interesting read because they did a breakdown here of what state handled what productions, like Louisiana handling 18 movies produced there. That is big. I'd I'd love to find an article about this that showed a more up to date of breakdown of this because I'd love to see Texas here listed here. I'd like to know how many movies are produced here in Texas over the past year, past 5 years or so, and how it compared to Louisiana, California, Canada, the UK. I mean, this list goes down to New Zealand here, Australia, France, Belgium, Malta. Oh, we made a movie in Malta. Yeah, this is interesting because it's one of the things we're going to have to just sit back, wait, and watch to see how this plays out. You can have the president come out and announce, "Oh, I want 100% tariffs on movies made overseas." I can understand where he's coming from. He wants to keep the money here in the states as opposed to taking those productions, that budget money overseas and spending it abroad. Wants to keep it here. I think there's just better ways of going about doing this. But again, this is Trump, and don't really nobody knows what he has planned. Really, I mean, he just comes out, stands in front of some TV cameras, and nobody knows what is coming out of his mouth. It's like the shock and awe or whatever of whatever statement he makes. Somebody's going to be shocked and awed by it. Now, what his ambassadors, John Voight, Sylvester Stallone, and Mel Gibson, have to say about this, I imagine they will all weigh in at some point in the very near future. Anyway, anybody out there, I would be interested in anyone's comments on the entertainment industry. If you have anything to share about this, please do. I'd love to read comments about productions here in the States and abroad. What do you think could be done to keep business here? What incentives could not only state by state, but maybe nationwide. This really could lead to something nationwide to encourage studios to stay here in the States, to give them the tax credits they need, the incentives they need, no matter what state they pick. Let's see. Going to go here. I'm going to go here and here. There we go. Oh, yes, yes. Wendy Trauma Warrior saying California has overregulated everything to the point productions have no choice to leave but to leave. Very true. Very true. Their tax base or what incentives they do offer to stay in California, I don't believe really competes with other states and the rest of the world. Let's see here. I've been rambling on here a little over an hour. I do believe I'm going to wrap it on up. I want to thank you all for joining me tonight, whether you're live out there, you've been lurking off and on, or you catch this on a replay. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. And appreciate your time hanging out here and checking this out. Thank you, Wendy Trauma Warrior, for joining me tonight. Good luck getting some sleep. Insomnia can be rough. Now, I joke about weaponizing my insomnia from time to time on these late night live streams, but yeah, there are times when I start running out of steam, and I'm getting close to that point myself. Let's see. Take care and stay safe. Thank you so much. And with that, everyone, thank you for joining me tonight. Have a great week ahead. Let's see, where else can you find me later on in the week? Well, of course, I'll be live streaming again this coming. Oh, that is really loud. Let's see. I start my ending theme a little bit early. I'll be live streaming later this Thursday, as I'm trying to do Thursdays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays evenings every week. And I co-host on Comic Relief Crusader on Tuesdays and Fridays. So until next time, everyone, thank you all for joining me. Have a great evening and great week ahead. Thank you all so much.